Alright, hi everybody. Bonkai922 here. Jojo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, episode 44. There was so much feels and so much emotion in this episode that I literally almost cried twice, and two separate occasions. It's pretty windy outside. Um, okay, so we do get the conclusion with Vanilla Ice and with Iggy. Now, I don't remember much of the OVA. The only thing I remember was Avdol died and Iggy died, which is kind of a spoiler. So, but that's beside the point. And that's why I didn't mention it before. But what I didn't remember is what happened here and there. Essentially, what goes down is that he believes he's won. Palnareff is gone. We see the events of last week's episode, and he begins, you know, Vanilla Ice thinks gonna kill the rest of the Joestars, so on and so forth, you know. And he says, Vanilla Ice says that he's almost gonna die soon because of what Avdol did. Now, this confused me a little bit. What I think he means is that when someone gets sucked, that's a funny word, sucked, into the void of cream, Vanilla Ice gains that person's blood, I guess you could say. I think that's the concept here, because he basically said that he did something, that Avdol did something before he got sucked in and before he was killed. And that's what's causing Vanilla Ice to bleed and shit. And he's about to kill, I guess he's about to kill Iggy, finishing him off. And you look up, when they showed the cat, you looked up at the ceiling, I was like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Palnareff is still alive. What? What? Now, I knew Iggy dies, but Iggy essentially used the Fool to help him, to save him at the last second. And then, he's basically saying to Iggy how stupid he was to do that. And he basically, it was his soul. His soul moved on its own. And I was about to cry for this scene. It was just so fucking sad. I think we all should. I don't know. I forgot the type of dog that Iggy is. We all should go buy that type of dog and has it as a pet and name it Iggy in his honor. Because he, to me, is probably one of the best dogs in anime. Bar none. I don't know. There are not a lot of dogs in anime, from what I understand, here and there. I mean, you got one, probably Bebop. But Iggy, what he did, amazing. And he died, and I was like, and what really was satisfying, the absolute thrashing that Palnareff gave Vanilla Ice. I was like, yes, kill this motherfucker. Put him on a fucking crucifix cross and send him to hell. I digged it. Man, Palnareff coming in the clutch and just nail this motherfucker. But essentially, that's what happened. He just went. He pierces his head, and his head turns around. But else is his head. He's still alive. And the explanation behind the whole Dio thing, Dio giving Vanilla Ice his blood, when Palnareff, because he says this, Palnareff tells this to Vanilla Ice, like when he stabbed him, that's when the process of becoming a vampire started to take effect. So that means that when he was beating the shit out of Iggy, he was not a vampire at all. And that's why he was able to do that. But after he got stabbed by Palmer, that's when it started taking effect, and he started turning into a vampire. And essentially, Palmer just lets him have it. He just stabs him like a fucking million times, and I'm like, yeah, just kill this motherfucker. Until he opens up, Palmer opens up side of the wall. Sun comes in. You're ash. That's all you are now. You're fucking ash. Get the fuck out. And just go to hell. It's like, yeah. And then they had the really most saddest scene I think I've seen in the entire series of Stardust Crusaders. You see the soul of Avdol and Iggy looking on palnareff. And he started crying. I was like, it's fucked up, man. It was so fucking emotional. The other part of this episode, we also get Jotaro's grandmother, Joseph's wife. And basically she her attendant, him, is having a hard time trying to tell her what was really going down with Holly, and they go visit her, and he while they're in the car, she says, "You seem to be troubled about something," and that she tells him she already knows that her life is in danger, and then basically it's just another emotional scene that almost made me cry. Like it's amazing how in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure they are able to have these moments, these emotional moments that usually you would think with anime it's amazing how you could be invested in characters like this, and how you could show you're watching it and you get emotional about it, you feel it, you start crying over it, and you're like, it's one of those things that I believe is why JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the success that it is. Now, after that scene, we basically have Jotaro, Kakyoin, and Joseph. Now, they do notice the holes in the wall and shit, so they obviously know that the battle went down with Avdol and whoever this evil Standards it was. And we get this other guy, this freako. Couldn't understand his name. His name sounded like Sasuke, Naku Sasuke, but he pretty much disguises himself because he feels like left out because they all treated him like shit. Darby, the player, and Vanilla Ice saying how, well, we'll take care of it. You don't need to do anything. But he ends up fighting Jotaro anyway, and he disguises himself as a woman. It doesn't work. He doesn't. Oh no. He just fucking decimates him. And basically, ending of that fight, he's like, "How did you know my name?" And he's like, and then Jotaro's about to say it, and that's where it ends there. But then we get an extra scene. We get Palnareff. He's got the curtains apparently. He found some curtains to heal up his wounds. Basically, he put a band. He wrapped his missing toes, and his leg, and he notices someone's behind him, and there he is, ladies and gentlemen, in all his motherfucking glory, wearing that traditional outfit from the Dio. And he's just like saying, it's been a long time, Paul. Just see him stand there. Dio is one of those villains where you see him standing and you literally feel like, even watching this episode, I feel like I'm in the presence of a god. I know that's a little stretch. That's a stretch. But that's what it feels like. He's that kind of presence. And he's just saying that, and then Paul's like, Dio Brando. I'm like, yo, that was hype, man. I was so hype with that shit. But next week's episode is going to be called, oh my God, DIO'S World. You guys, listen. You guys who haven't seen a single fucking, you haven't read the manga, you didn't see the OVA, you better take something. You better go out and you better go get some drugs. I'm dead serious on this. Get some get some sedatives because you'll need to be as relaxed as humanly possible to see this shit. Because it's just one of those things that's gonna have you bugging the fuck out. And next week's episode is called DIO'S World Part 1. And I'm so hyped for this shit. When I saw the OVA, and I know I'm a little crazy here, but when I saw the OVA, I actually first remembered who got me into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I don't know if anyone remembers Delonimus. He was a big JoJo fan. He told me how to watch it, how to go about reading and watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And originally I read part 1, I read part 2, and for part 3 I watched the OVA first. And I saw Dio's abilities. I was like, yo, the fuck is this shit? Trust me when I say this. Get some drugs. You're gonna need them. Dio's you guys don't know. You don't fucking know. Dio Brando. I'll do this. Next week's episode is gonna be unbelievable. The start of it. It's just gonna be unfucking believable. So, but oh, I forgot a rating. I gotta give a rating. I need to give a rating. 5 out of 5. This was a phenomenal episode, like I said before. But next week, man, DIO'S World. Oh shit. Oh god. I'm just thinking about the events that are gonna happen in the coming episodes with Dio and Joestar, Johto, and everything. I, I just laugh. I just laugh. I laugh and I think to myself, yo, this is so hyped. This is gonna be so fucking amazing that it is literally, I mean this. I mean this. Nothing's gonna compare. Next couple of weeks. Any end of the anime that comes out for seasonal, who gives a fuck? Nothing can touch it. I'm sorry. That's what I feel. But yeah, I'm Balkan922. I'll see you guys later. Man, Iggy. Iggy! Everyone needs to go and buy. I think it's a Boston Terrier. That's what Iggy is. He's a Boston Terrier. Go buy a Boston Terrier. It has a pet. And call him Iggy. That's what we're gonna do. I might do that. I might do that shit. When I see a Boston Terrier, I'm gonna be like, Iggy! That's what I'm gonna say. An avdol, man. So sad. So sad. I'll see you guys later.